The Oakland Raiders defeat the San Diego Chargers 34-31. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Oakland Raiders defeat the San Diego Chargers 34-31, and man, the San Diego Chargers just cannot finish games. Yet another loss, completely gaffed, given away, fumbled away by the San Diego Chargers. This team in front of our eyes cannot hold on to the football to save their lives, to win football games. They can't do it. Two huge gaffes today. One by Melvin Gordon, who continues to be a little bit of a disappointment. Now, he's been better than he was last season, right? Last season, he didn't get one rushing touchdown. He already has like 4 or 5. Okay, that's great. He's rushing okay. You know, he had a bad week last week. This week was average. It's been fine. But the fumbles are back, and man, are they hurting this football team. Huge fumble in the third quarter. Or was it the early fourth or late third quarter? Either way, it was a huge fumble, and it allowed the Oakland Raiders to come back in this football game. And man, did they come back? Did they storm back as Derek Carr found Michael Crabtree as they went down and scored yet another touchdown after that and took a pretty commanding lead. Now, the Chargers, though, they weren't quite done yet. Phillip Rivers still had some fight left in him. Okay, he led them down the field through a touchdown to Antonio Gates, down by 3 points. Okay, gets the ball again, goes all the way down the field yet again, comes up a little short. Okay, we have to kick a field goal to tie the game. Okay, fine. And then the field goal snap placement goes awry, to say the least. Fumble by the, what do they call it, the snap holder or whatever, the kick holder, and that's it. The Raiders recover, and that's the end of the game. Yet another game lost by the Chargers. Remember, last week they lost because of the 2 fumbles by Melvin Gordon and by Travis Benjamin. Today, by Melvin Gordon and whoever the kick placer is for this football team, they are to blame today. I mean, this is bad, man. You can't keep losing games like this. You can't keep losing games like this, man. I mean, the San Diego Chargers are now 1-4, one of the worst records in the NFL. But this is not one of the worst teams in the NFL. They've been in almost every game this season. The problem is they're still having these type of games, these type of losses, these type of L's. And, you know, everyone's pointing to Mike McCoy, and, you know, maybe deservedly so. But I think a little bit too much, man. I don't think he's that bad. Like, some people were criticizing him for attempting the field goal at the end of the game. You have to attempt that field goal, man. You have to try to tie the game. You can't go for it on 4th down there. You can't go all out saying, well, we may not get this, and then that's the end of the game. You gotta kick the field goal there. Don't blame him for that. Now, why they're fumbling, I don't know. You know, theories out there indicate that maybe they're not playing for him. I can see some of that. I mean, maybe it's just time to move on. I can buy that, but I'm not completely buying that it's all Mike McCoy. Once we get rid of Mike McCoy, everything will be fixed, everything will be solved. I think Ken Whisenhunt won't be horrible. Like, you may be able to salvage a 6-win, maybe 7-win, you know, season out of this, but I don't think it's all on Mike McCoy. I think the players, I mean, you just can't fumble like this, man. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm a fan of a bad football team. The Tennessee Titans is the team that I'm a fan of. They're a bad football team, and they don't fumble the football like this. I mean, this is bad. So I will blame Mike McCoy for that, because I do believe you do have to instruct your players, and you do have to force it and beat it into their heads. Bro, we cannot fumble the football, do whatever drills, practices, you know, whatever you have to do to make sure that they can hold on to the football, because right now they can't do that, and it is losing them football games. They're just blowing games. They don't know how to win games. They don't know how to finish games. Luckily for them, the Jaguars, when they came to play them, they absolutely stunk up the field, and the game wasn't even in question in the 4th quarter, because whenever a game is in question in the 4th quarter involving the San Diego Chargers, it is a game in which they will lose, and this is something that has been proven thus far this year. Chiefs, Colts, Saints, and now the Oakland Raiders have all beat the San Diego Chargers late in the fourth quarter. Pretty ridiculous. And by the way, the Chiefs beat them in overtime. Pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. And as for the Oakland Raiders, you escape with the victory again. But look, you guys are good. Okay, I know a lot of people are saying, well, the Raiders, they're not that good. They should be blowing teams out. No. I mean, if you're winning games, dude, who cares? You're winning games. You're getting it done. And I'm so impressed by Derek Carr. Man, this guy is so good. I believe that he has solidified himself as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And admittedly, it's, due to a lot of the talent that he has around him. I mean, this offensive line, this Raiders offensive line is so good. It could be the best in the league. I think it could be better than the Dallas Cowboys offensive line coming into this game. Coming into the fifth game in this 2016 NFL season, the Oakland Raiders had only allowed 2 sacks, and today they may have given up 3, 2 of which were to Joey Bosa, who I should get into in a second. I mean, look, they know how to protect their quarterback. They can run the football pretty effectively. Latavius Murray, I think they're missing him a little bit right now, not really doing much. I mean, he's injured, so that's unfortunate, but right now, this Raiders team, this Raiders passing offense, Derek Carr, they're impressive, man. This guy, the touch that he has on these throws to the outside, the one to Michael Crabtree, he's so good. The touch throws he has to Amari Cooper, he's so good. And this is a guy that coming out of college was not accurate. If he was this accurate coming out of college, would have been drafted number 1 overall over Blake Bortles, over Jadeveon Clowney, over Khalil Mack. He would have been this guy drafted number 1 overall, even by the Houston Texans, even after the David Carr thing. If he was this accurate, there would have been no question about it. I don't know where he learned this type of play. I don't know why, we're seeing this now, but we're seeing it, and we're loving it if you're an Oakland Raiders fan, so congratulations on that. And then moving back to the Chargers, Joey Bosa. What a debut for Joey Bosa. 2 sacks, a number of pressures, a number of run stuffs, like 3 run stuffs today. This guy was absolutely incredible, and I told you, Chargers fans, I loved the Joey Bosa pick. I would have picked Jalen Ramsey, but I felt the Joey Bosa pick was my number 2 pick. My number 2 player on the draft board during this time, so I love the pick. And I think he showed you today that he's going to be one of your defensive cornerstones moving forward, in what's probably going to be a new coaching regime. So if you get the new head coach in, you get some new talent in, you have this nice little cornerstone. You still have Phillip Rivers. Rivers isn't going anywhere. Some people are saying, oh, I wish Phillip Rivers would get out of San Diego. Phillip Rivers is not that kind of guy. Phillip Rivers is not LeBron James or Kevin Durant or NFL comparison. I don't even know what an NFL comparison is to that, but he's not a guy that wants to leave. He's loyal. He wants to stay in San Diego. That's his move. That's his deal. That's his game, man. That's his move. If he stayed in San Diego after last year, boy, he's staying in San Diego. When they were talking about trading him for Marcus Mariota, he wasn't liking those conversations at all. He loves San Diego. He ain't going nowhere. So stop with this ridiculous rhetoric about, Phillip Rivers needs to get out of San Diego. It ain't happening. Get over it. And hopefully, within the next coaching regime and whatnot, they can get back to the playoffs, because he is a man that I believe deserves a ring. I think he deserves a ring. Let's move on to the late games, and let us begin with the Dallas Cowboys, who absolutely systematically dismantled the Cincinnati Bengals this evening as they won 28-14, but they were up 28-0. Ezekiel Elliott, the man I've been critical of ever since he came out of Ohio State, made me look like a fool today, as he was absolutely dominant today. This is an Ezekiel Elliott I didn't think we'd be seeing, especially this early, but man, he looked great. The guy looked absolutely great, especially on that 60-yard touchdown run, really to close this game, to cinch this game. Dak Prescott still doing what he needs to do. Look, he's good. Dak Prescott is good, but Cowboy fans, can y'all shut up about him versus Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz is better. Shut up. Honestly, can you shut up? You sound like a clown. You saw today Ryan Matthews fumble the football. Ezekiel Elliott is better than Ryan Matthews. Des Bryant is better than Nelson Aguilar. Your offensive line is better than his offensive line. And still, Carson Wentz's stats are blowing out Dak Prescott's stats. Shut up. Carson Wentz is better. It doesn't matter who's better. All you should care about is, can we win the NFC East? Are we the best team in the NFC East? And as of this moment, that is true. I don't don't know why teams and fans of teams, they want to believe that their quarterback is the best, or their quarterback is better than this quarterback. Who cares? Is your team better? That's all you should care about. I could have Trent Dilfer as my quarterback. If we're winning the Super Bowl, I don't care. That's all I should care about. So shut up about Carson Wentz versus Dak Prescott. It's Carson Wentz. It's not close, but congratulations. You're on top of the NFC West or NFC East, so shut up. But anyway, Cowboys defense played well today. They slowed down A.J. Green, didn't let him do much until the second half, and at that point it was pretty much over. But despite how impressive this win might be, I would not get carried away, guys. This is a Cowboys team that was down early to the San Francisco 49ers, and, they beat the Bears, and, they lost, they beat the Redskins, and they lost to the Giants. I mean, they're pretty good, but they're not great. Don't go into this 11-5, 12-4 realm. I'm seeing some people go there thinking about it. I wouldn't go higher than 10-6 right now, and I think that's a stretch. I think there are some L's coming on this schedule starting next week at Green Bay. So be happy, be optimistic, but man, I would calm down on this sense of optimism right now. I think we're getting a little too outrageous, of course, because Dallas Cowboy fans, that's their move. They love to think that they're the God's gift to humanity, and they're going to go 12-4 every year. But calm down. You guys are going to get set up for a letdown. If you guys start getting up there, getting optimistic, getting crazy, calm down. You're going to be in trouble. All right, so with that in mind, let's move on to the next game. And where should we go? Let's go to Buffalo. Buffalo beat the LA Rams in LA. And you know what? I don't get the LA Rams at this point. I'm 1-4 picking LA Rams games at this point. Actually, I think I'm 2-3. But either way, look, I don't get the Rams. I don't understand them. They're a team that is so inconsistent, not only from game to game, but from drive to drive. I mean, Case Keenum can throw a pick 6-1 drive. Next drive, lead his team down for a touchdown. I don't get this team. I'll never get this team. What's their identity? I don't know. They played decent defense, maybe even pretty good, but today they weren't good. So I don't get this team. And same goes for the Buffalo Bills. These are two very odd football teams because they don't win the way, it makes sense to win. They play very weird football, a lot of reliant on turnovers and odd plays and deep balls and a bunch of junk. I don't get these teams. I don't get them. But hey, the Bills won 3 straight. Rex Ryan is saving his job yet again, and we'll see if they can keep it up. We'll see if the Bills can compete for a wild card spot. Honestly, I don't see a chance. I mean, I don't see how without Sammy Watkins you guys can sustain an offense, but for now you're doing it. Okay, so congratulations. And as for the Rams, I still don't think you guys are very good. I'm sorry, and I picked you guys to win this game. You let me down. Next week you guys go to Detroit. We'll see what happens there. You guys... It's a 50-50, that one. We'll see. I'm not buying either one of these teams just because they play such weird football. Eesh. Let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons as they defeat the Denver Broncos 23-16. And man, I tried to tell y'all in my picks and predictions video, I don't trust the Atlanta Falcons right now in terms of, I'm scared of them. We need to look out for the Atlanta Falcons because this is a good football team. You can believe that, they're going to fade down the stretch, that they're going to lose every game in December, that maybe they'll make the playoffs, but then they'll lose in the first round, whatever. But you cannot deny this, that as of this moment, in this moment, this week, this month, whatever, they are really good, okay? So with that in mind, man, they can go anywhere and win right now. And Denver, Paxton Lynch started today. Man, the guy's not ready. Trevor Siemian's a better quarterback right now. Paxton Lynch is not ready. Not very impressive at all today. They needed him to make plays, and he wasn't god-awful, but, man, he's not good enough. Trevor Siemian's better, okay? So Paxton Lynch, go back to the bench as soon as possible. He's not ready. And Atlanta Falcons, y'all are impressed, dog. I mean, your running backs, Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman, the plays they make in the run game, in the receiving game, giving Matt Ryan so many options, so many opportunities to move the football. Julio Jones didn't do much today. It looks like he's like an every other week guy. I mean, he had barely anything against the Saints defense, has 300 yards against the Panthers defense, and has 29 yards today. If you own him in fantasy, I don't know what to expect on a week-to-week basis, but man, you're going to win some weeks and you're going to lose other weeks. That's the deal with Julio Jones right now. But with the Falcons, hey, they look good. And I believe there's a chance that the Panthers may lose tomorrow. You know, I have the Panthers winning, but there's a chance that the Panthers may lose tomorrow. And if this comes to fruition, man, that lead in the NFC South is starting to look real good for the Atlanta Falcons. And as for the Denver Broncos, look, y'all were never going to go 16-0, but this shows the concern with this football team. You know, right now you're not really moving the football. And C.J. Anderson, he's not really running that well, man. He's only averaging 3.5 yards per carry, man. That's not good. You know, I think he was averaging more than that last year, like a 4.2. It was like a very weird 4.2 where he'd get like, you know, any given like drive, he'd probably get like 8 and then 1 and then -1 and then 16 and then 8 and then 4. But, you know, it ended up being like 4.1 yards per carry. Now he's averaging 3.5. You know, your passing game's actually been pretty good, I guess, with Trevor Seaman, but today he took a step back. So, you know, this Broncos team, you guys are going to go up against either the Steelers or the Patriots, and I'm not sure you're going to beat these teams, man. Today wasn't very convincing at all. We'll see what happens, though, as the season progresses. And is that every late game? Indeed, that is every late game. What were your guys' thoughts on the late games? Comment down below. I want to know if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and most importantly to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.